Harrow Farm, an American horror story told in third person. Scene 1, The Return. The old pickup truck rolled onto the dirt road, its headlights cutting through endless rows of corn. Jack Harrow hadn't been here in over 10 years. After his father's death, he'd sworn never to come back. But now the farm belonged to him again. An inheritance or a curse. The farm looked dead. The barn with its rotted roof, the house with boarded-up windows, the windmill that no longer turned. The silence was so thick it felt like even sound was afraid to enter. Jack stepped out of the truck. The wind swept through the corn, whispering as if someone spoke. "You came back," he smirked. "Must be the wind. I'm just tired," but the wind didn't smell like smoke, and the air smelled like rot. Scene 2, the father's house. Inside, it smelled of dust and mice. Photographs hung on the wall. Jack as a child, his mother and his father with a rifle standing in front of the barn. Everyone was smiling, but their eyes were empty. In the kitchen, a clock was ticking, even though there was no power. On the table, a plate with dried up food, as if someone had been eating and simply walked away mid-meal. Next to it lay a note. "If you're reading this, don't stay the night." Father Jack clenched the paper. "Funny, Dad," he muttered. "You've been dead for 2 years." Scene 3, the barn. When the sun sank below the horizon, Jack decided to check the property. The barn door creaked open, and a wave of iron stench hit him. And something else, damp, sweet, almost like meat. Inside were cages, rusted, chained shut. On the floor, drag marks like something heavy had been pulled across it. In one cage, an old jacket. In another, claws. Real ones. Big like an animal's. Except the fingers were human. Jack stumbled back. "What the hell were you keeping here, old man?" Outside, the snap of a branch. He rushed out, but no one was there. Only the corn swayed as if something had just passed through it. Scene 4, the first night. He locked himself inside the house. The fire crackled in the fireplace, but the walls creaked, like footsteps moving in the attic. Jack pulled out an old bottle of whiskey from his bag, took a sip, then another. The clock kept ticking, like a metronome of fear. Then came a dull thud from beneath the floor. Jack froze. The sound came again. 3 knocks. He pried up a floorboard. Underneath, an old hatch leading down to the cellar. Cold air drifted up, carrying something that sounded like breathing. He aimed the flashlight down. Among the crates and dust, someone was standing there. Still, silent, the face hidden, only a silhouette. Jack blinked, and the figure was gone. Scene 5, the recordings. The next morning, he found a stack of old cassette tapes in his father's bedroom. Labels read, "Experiments, March, Night 12, She Speaks." He slid one into the tape player. Static, then his father's voice, weary, trembling. "I don't know who she is, but she comes from the corn. At first, I only heard her voice. Now she knocks. I tried to feed her, but she wants something else." Jack shut off the tape. From outside came a faint sound. Laughter. A child's. He looked out the window. No one there. Only the corn, swaying gently in the wind. Scene 6. Sounds from the field night. The porch light flickers, glowing, dying, glowing again. Jack sits by the window with his shotgun. He hasn't slept. Not after that tape. The wind picks up, the corn rustles, but beneath the rustle there's rhythm. A pattern, a step, another, then a pause. Jack leans forward, staring into the dark. The flashlight beam cuts through the rows, and for just a second he sees a woman standing at the edge of the field. A white dress, long hair, bare feet. She stands motionless. He blinks, and she's gone. Scene 7. The footprints morning. Jack steps out onto the porch. In the mud, bare footprints leading from the cornfield to the house and back again. Small, like a child's, but too deep, as if something heavy had made them. Jack follows the trail, straight into the corn. There, in the center of the field, he finds a circle of feathers and bones, arranged like some ritual. In the middle lies a photograph, himself standing in that exact spot. But the photo is old, faded. On the back, written in trembling hand, "Welcome home." He drops it. Behind him, a rustle. Something moves within the corn, and whatever it is, it's walking on two legs. Scene 8. The visitor. Jack barely makes it back to the house when something slams against the door, scratching, claws dragging across the wood. He raises the shotgun, heart pounding. "Who's there?" No answer, only breathing, low and ragged. Then, a whisper. "Jackie." He freezes. That voice, he knows it, his mother's voice. But she's been dead 15 years. The porch light flickers out. When it flares back on, there are handprints on the glass, long, stretched, inhumanly thin. Scene 9. The tape. She speaks. Jack plays another tape, static first, then his father's voice, quiet, trembling. "I thought she was a spirit, but she's not human. She feeds on those who stay after sundown. I gave her your mother. Now she wants the sun." Crackling. Then a woman's voice, soft, melodic, almost kind. "Come back to us, Jackie." Into the corn. It's warm here. Jack shuts off the player instantly. From down the hallway comes laughter. A child's laugh, as if answering her. Scene 10. The cellar. He remembers the hatch, grabs the flashlight and shotgun and climbs down. The smell hits him, worse than before. Metal, decay, blood. In the far corner, a large wooden cage. Something's chained inside. When he shines the light, he sees a face, or what's left of one. A woman, skin gray-yellow, eyes closed, mouth sewn shut, but she's breathing. He drops the flashlight. Its beam spins wildly across the walls. The woman begins to thrash, chains rattling, sensing him there. Through the stitches, she wheezes, "Don't leave. She's outside." Then, pounding above, heavy footsteps running across the floor. Scene 11. The corn woman. Jack bursts outside. The wind has become a storm. The cornfield moves like a living sea, waves shifting against the wind. From within the green stalks, a figure rises. A woman in a white dress, her hair black with blood, her face twisted, eyes hollow, mouth gaping like an endless hole. She takes a step, and the ground around her rots, darkening. Another, and she's already at the gate. Jack fires. Once, twice, nothing. The bullets pass right through her like smoke. She smiles. "Father promised you'd come back." Jack retreats toward the house, reloading, but the corn around him begins to move. Hundreds of hands reaching from the earth. Scene 12. The earth breathes. Jack runs across the yard. The corn moves as if something is crawling beneath the soil. His flashlight cuts through the dark, revealing flashes of hands between the stalks. Dry, blackened hands reaching for air, trying to claw their way out. He bolts for the barn, slams the door shut, and throws the latch. Inside smells of rust and blood. Something drips from the ceiling, thick, dark, sticky. Jack reaches out his hand and realizes it's blood. Above him, on the loft, footsteps creak, slow, heavy. Then comes a raspy sound, like someone trying to speak without a tongue. He raises the light and sees sacks hanging from the rafters. One of them moves. From inside comes his father's voice. "Jack, don't let her out." Jack yells, "What did you do, Dad?" No reply, only the sound of claws tearing through burlap. Scene 13. The book. He runs back into the house. In his father's bedroom, he finds an old chest. Inside, photographs, a cross, and a thick notebook filled with jagged handwriting. The first page reads, "She came from the earth after the storm. Hungry, beautiful. I thought she was an angel, but angels don't demand sacrifices." The later entries grow worse. The ink smudged, the pages stained. Every seed, a piece of her flesh, every drop of blood, her roots. I fed the soil to keep her sleeping. Jack slams the notebook shut. Outside, a moan, low, long, like the entire farm is groaning in pain. Scene 14, the basement. He goes back down. The woman in the cage no longer moves. Only her eyes are open, glassy. Jack lifts the light closer and sees that the walls are covered in symbols, carved deep into the wood. The same ones from the photographs. He steps back and notices a circle of salt drawn on the floor. Beyond it, a door built into the wall leading deeper underground. It wasn't there before. He opens it. The stench rolls out, old, sweet, like a tomb. A staircase descends into damp darkness. Scene 15, the underground. The cellar becomes a tunnel, walls of clay closing in. Jack moves with the flashlight, hearing the door slam shut behind him. Something soft squishes underfoot. He points the beam down and sees bones. First animal, then human. At the end of the tunnel, a stone chamber. In its center, a massive root, pulsing like a living heart. From it juts a hand, a woman's hand. Alive, it moves. A voice rises from the root itself. "He promised you'd continue. The blood of Harrow is my food." Jack steps back. Faces emerge from the dirt, translucent, distorted, trapped beneath the ground. Among them, his mother's face. "Save us," she whispers. "Burn it all." Scene 16, the choice. He races upstairs, grabs a gas can, and splashes it through the house and barn. The fire catches instantly, flames licking the walls, the air turning to smoke. But from the cornfield, she is already coming. The corn woman, closer than ever, her skin like dry leaves, her eyes hollow pits. She walks straight through the fire. The flames bend away from her. "I gave life to your land," she says. "Now give me yours." Jack fires, bullets tearing pieces from her flesh, but she keeps coming. Then he drops the match at his feet. Explosion, fire, screams. The blaze consumes everything. He leaps into the pickup, engine roaring. In the rearview mirror, the fields burn like hell itself. And at the center, the woman, standing still, smiling. Scene 17, after the fire. The pickup roars down the empty road. Behind him, fire devouring the horizon. The sky glows red like molten metal. Jack coughs, smoke, ash, sweat, blood on his hand. In the mirror, he watches the farm turn into a sea of flames, everything left of his family. Ash. He wipes his eyes and whispers, "It's over. It's all over." But the old radio under the seat crackles to life. Through the static, a woman's voice. "Jackie, why are you leaving? The fields miss you." He drops the radio to the floor. In the mirror, the fire seems closer. Number. It's not fire. Something is moving through it. Scene 18, Highway 41. Jack bursts onto the highway. Cracked asphalt. No cars, no sound. He drives for miles until he sees flashing police lights ahead. A patrol car sits on the shoulder. Jack slams the brakes, jumps out of the truck. "Help! There's something at the farm. Everything's burning. The officer turns. His face is pale as ash, his eyes empty as glass. He speaks slowly. "Harrow? She's waking again. You're too late." Dirt starts pouring from his mouth. He collapses, and from his body, corn stalks begin to grow. Jack stumbles backward. Cracks split the pavement, and from them sprout green shoots. They grow and grow. In seconds, tall stalks surround him. The highway disappears into a cornfield. Scene 19, the captive. He runs blindly, crashing through the stalks. Corn all around, endless, whispering his name. He runs until he collapses to his knees. Before him stands the farmhouse, whole, untouched, old, dark, as if it had never burned. He steps inside. On the kitchen table, a plate of food, the same as on the first day. Tick-tock, tick-tock. The clock still ticks, footsteps behind him. He turns. His father stands there, alive, but his skin is paper-thin, his eyes hollow. "Welcome home, son." The earth always takes back what's hers. Jack screams, grabs a knife, lunges forward, but the moment he moves, his father vanishes. Jack falls to the floor and realizes the ground beneath him is breathing. Scene 20. The end or the beginning? Outside, a deep hum rises, like 1,000 voices singing beneath the soil. The windows rattle, cracks spread across the walls, leaking black blood. He bursts outside and sees the cornfield, green again, fresh, alive, as if nothing had ever burned. At the edge of the field stands a woman in white, smiling. Beside her, a small boy. He turns. It's Jack, a younger Jack, the one from the old photograph. The woman takes the boy's hand. Now the land will bear fruit again. The boy looks at the grown Jack, and his eyes turn black. "Daddy, we're home." His scream is swallowed by the sound of rustling corn. The entire field moves, waves in a green sea. The sun sinks behind the horizon, and Harrow Farm falls into darkness once more. Epilogue. A week later, firefighters find the spot where the farm once stood. No bodies, no house, just a perfect even field, rows of tall green corn. By the roadside, a wooden sign reads, "Harrow Farm, fresh corn, family business since 1924. Beneath the ground, something stirs, and from the depths comes a whisper, "Welcome home."